Hi, I'm Kim. I have been asked to put together a little tutorial about working with high school students. Here's a short example, working with a 15-year-old who had been cutting. So drawing a picture I find really helpful. We can do it on the Zoom whiteboard if it's online therapy, or a piece of paper, or a whiteboard if it's in session, or computer. Give a young person a laptop, get them to draw this. There can be examples of this on the wall, or it can be, you can have examples like this available for them to look at, and so de-identified drawings can be quite helpful for other young people. So basically the conversation goes, every time you reach for that knife or scissors, you are at the moment of a crossroads, and who else would be looking on? Maybe a grandparent that's died, or an auntie who you are close to, who has a special connection with you. Who would be watching on and nodding, understanding, not criticizing? Who would be looking at you and knowing you? And that's really important, because a lot of people feel that they're being judged by others. So we make that connection early on, and then talk about, again, percentages are good. I like to work with a mixture of that black and white scaling along with the images, which I believe include both sides of the brain. So this is what the young person came to, that her thoughts would be, and she took a printed out copy of her drawing, her thoughts would be, she's got a choice to cut, and she can also be kind to herself. Being kind to myself are her words. So again, this is just a very short snapshot of what happened in a session. And this is my structured, detailed, what kind of questions might be also used. So I'm not going to go into that now, because you can read that yourself. The position I have as a counsellor is what is called in narrative therapy loitering with intent. So the conversation might seem to meander, but there is an intention to work with that person's identity and their values and hopes. This is a page from my book, A Counselor's Companion, Creative Adventures for Child Counsellors, Parents and Teachers. And that image was drawn by Tamar Dolev after she looked at the image of the case that I was working on with an 11-year-old. So this young man had cut out pictures from the internet. We'd downloaded, colour printed, and in his suitcase at the bottom there, you can see he's got a little suitcase, and he'd written frustration, sadness, etc. in that suitcase. So I find, again, getting things tactile, cutting things out, pasting, can still be very helpful. This kind of collage, creative response to a problem. His problem was anger, as you can see. He's got anger is only one letter short of danger, which he thought was very interesting. That's the book that I've put a lot of my ideas into. And this crossroads as a metaphor can be very helpful. And there is a story that I've recorded and put on YouTube. So if you're interested in listening to that story, you can go to Counselor's Companion, A Therapeutic Story, The Tree at the Crossroads, and have a listen. And it's only a 3-minute story, so potentially you could tell that story, or you could listen to the YouTube link together in session and ask your client, what are they picturing as they listen? Which of the two people in the story, the key people in the story, are they drawn to? And are there any kind of feelings they got as they were listening to the story? I do hope this has been helpful.